Hey guys, Encore Performance here, back with another video, and today we're going to be completing Bjorn Ironside, one of the new missions in the Victors and Vanquished DLC, as an Immortal. That means we won't lose any units, and even though deleting a unit doesn't count as a loss, we won't be doing that as it's cheesy, so at the end you'll see all my units still there. When we begin this mission, we're going to start with absolutely nothing, until we march Bjorn himself up and then capture this nearby village along with the warriors hold there. Once there, we're told that we need to find 4 Norse heroes who are missing, have 5,000 gold, and destroy the 4 wonders located on the map. These wonders are going to be a cathedral in Paris, a cathedral in Rome, a large wonder in Carthage, which is currently ruled by the Moors, and then the mosque in Cordoba, which is in Spain. If we sail south to Sardinia, we can instantly find one of the Viking heroes, as long as a couple other regular units, and then sack the monastery, docks, and surrounding buildings, as we'll earn gold from all of those. We'll also be able to go up to the next stage with the few villagers that we have, which is going to be beneficial due to the fact that by going to the next stage we'll get armor upgrades. We are then given a hint as to where the second Norse hero might be. It's the Great Rollo, which for any of you that have watched the show know Rollo was pretty great, is located up in northern Spain, so we're going to start looking for him. Of course, to do that, we'll first have to deal with a nearby Frankian town. Of course, we'll have no issue doing such due to the fact that they are currently lacking murder holes, and we are using some berserks, which will regenerate over time when they're in a group. Faster they regenerate, the more of them there are. Or it's the other way around. They regenerate quicker the more of them that they are. Once we've done that, we can then find Rollo up in the cliffs, which puts us now at 3 heroes. And these heroes are going to be quite good due to the fact that they can fight, heal, they have higher stats than regular units, so they're easier to not lose. We'll then leave northern Spain or southern France, in turn to go to Palma, which I've heard is great parties this time of year. No, I'm kidding, that's modern days. And once there, we'll deal with the Moors that are currently occupying it, sack a couple more buildings for some gold. We'll then be able to knock out some of Francia's docks, as the AI won't really produce large armies and come after us in this scenario, but once they're being attacked in a certain area, they will produce from their docks and military buildings. So by taking out these docks, we're just taking less of a chance with our longships, since they're a pain to repair, but obviously if they were to get damaged, we can repair them in order to keep them alive. So we'll try and knock out as many docks as we can, and as much as it hurts to raid the Roman Empire, it must be done for the sake of the Vikings TV show. Not kidding, for the sake of this scenario. Of course, after doing Sardinia, we must sack Corsica, as the two go together in a pair. Even back in times when they were a Roman province, they were named together. So, once we've done that, we'll be able to move south towards Carthage. Of course, before we can safely operate on Carthage, as we all know from the Punic Wars, we must first take Sicily. So we're going to do exactly that with our longboats and a couple heroes. This is also, as mentioned, going to give us a bit of gold, but it'll also make it much easier as the docks won't be producing units into the rear of our longboats while we sack the wonder in Carthage itself. We can then go just southwest of Sicily and first knock out a couple of docks before inevitably destroying our first one of the 4 wonders, which puts us in a good step in the right direction and grants us a fair bit of gold. As you can see, our longboat mass is growing. This is due to the fact that other than the odd pesky ship and the coastal defenses, if we play it right with them, they're not really getting damaged, and it's a brilliant way for us to just kill a lot of units, sack a lot of buildings without... It's high reward, low risk. Of course, the Moors are not going to be happy with our attempt to sack Carthage, so they will come and send their fleet of galleys, but as I know from Islands games where I've been ahead, feudal age ships do not compare to castle age ships, so we'll sink those, sack the wonder, and then head off towards Spain. But then, on our way to Spain, we'll learn of Heraldr, who is located in northwestern Africa, modern-day Morocco, pretty much. So, we'll sink a couple yellow ships before heading off to rescue him, which will then put us 3/4 done that objective for the scenario. We'll have to send one of our own heroes towards him in order to rescue him. Once we do that, we'll kill an eastern swordsman, which turns out to be a big mistake, as the Moors don't really like that, so they send a lot of troops towards us. Thankfully, with our longboats, once again providing support from the water, we're able to wipe those guys out, load our guys into the boat, and be safe and sound. Also, another thing to go back to is I'm kind of limited in my unit choice due to how the scenario is designed, just back to why we're choosing longboats, as there are many units I cannot construct or I just don't have the buildings for them. So longboats I'll have to make do, and they're doing that perfectly fine. We can then head off to what I believe to be Granada and begin to sack it. We'll destroy the mosque here, as I believed it to be the wonder, However, I was completely incorrect, as the wonder is actually located in Cordoba, which I realized later, so I'm rather disappointed when our objectives don't go up. Then we'll head off towards Rome. Once here, we'll sadly have to destroy the Colosseum, the original testing ground for whether or not a villager can survive that wild animal with or without loom. Spoiler alert, without loom, they didn't fare so well. And even with loom, they still didn't fare so well. We'll then be able to repair all of our longboats, as some of them have been getting a bit low, before constructing a couple siege rams, a unit we're not restricted from making. So, we'll load up our fully upgraded siege rams and send them towards Rome. Once there, they'll be covered by our longboats as we begin to destroy Rome's castle. This is going to be good, as A, it allows us to kill a lot of Blue's units, as they'll all be swarming our rams. B, it kills the castle, allowing us to safely operate around and within Rome, which is obviously going to be necessary for us to destroy the cathedral further within it. We'll then land a couple of our berserks, and once dealing with a couple pesky archers, we'll unload our rams, garrison said berserks within the rams, and quickly destroy the Basilica of Santa Marina. Of course, it feels horrible to destroy a piece of history like this, but when a scenario gives you objectives, you have no choice but to do them. So, we'll sack the cathedral, and obviously it's based on history, and head our siege rams back to our transport ship before we move more into the north, where the snow is more familiar to us rather than this dusty, arid land. Of course, before we can visit Paris again, we'll first send a light cavalry through modern-day Croatia towards where our final hero remains. We'll have to find that, obviously, to complete the scenario. As you can see, we're now pop capped at 100, which is good for me, because now I'll know if I if I see it at 99, which is like a very easy number to keep track of, I know I've lost a unit. We'll then find Vitserk there, who had been fighting among the Slavs, even though we're a little bit south for the Slavs, but it's alright. I'll give the map credit, it's still very well made. And then head back north, where we can begin to make our plots on Paris itself. Now, while we'll have an abundance of all other resources, we're actually going to be very limited on the stone. This is due to the fact that A, we cannot construct mining camps. There's just one. It's going to be a Gaia mining camp, so once we find it with our villagers, it'll switch to ours. And there'll be just one pocket of stone. So we'll get 350 stone, which is enough for 2 towers. So we'll build one right here, which is going to lure all of the paladins, that would be very mighty and scary, out of Paris into our longboat's range, where they don't fare so well. And then, after building a little bit closer with our palisade walls, you can see there what kind of buildings we're limited to making. We will construct our second tower within range of his 2 stables. This is going to be nice, as it's going to greatly slow the paladin production. We can then garrison all of our towers with villagers, due to the fact that there's no other way to really make them better, other than the blacksmith upgrades we already got for our longboats, causing them to shoot more arrows, which will help against these buildings. After that, we destroy 2 of Teal's 3 stables, which as mentioned will help with his paladin production, one of the toughest units for us to deal with, before sending our berserks in themselves in order to sack what they can of the city without being too badly harmed. They'll destroy towers, production buildings and such, but won't actually head for the wonder just yet, as there's 2 castles guarding it. However, once everything else within the city that poses a threat has been destroyed, we will then begin to plot our next move. We'll have now learned from Rome and added a 4th siege ram, as it was a bit too close last time, and now we will send all 4 siege rams fully garrisoned. First for the wonder, which they will take down in no time due to the fact that they're siege rams and meant for besieging structures. Once this wonder has been destroyed, we'll then take out the 2 Frankish castles, just to make sure he's not making any more of those throwing axes. After that, all of our objectives have been complete, suffice destroying the 4th and final wonder located in Cordoba, Spain. This wonder is going to be a bit more tricky, as we won't really have that much support from our longboats. However, if we bait the enemy far enough to this crossing right here, his armies stand no chance with our superior firepower. Once that's been done, we can slowly begin to, as done with Paris, chip away at his production buildings just due to the fact that our berserks heal. So we'll allow him to open the door for us, what a gentleman, before rushing in, destroying this stable here. Now you might be thinking as we destroy the stable, but how are we going to get our troops out? There's no way out, right? Like we'll have to destroy the gate, that's going to be such a pain. But Yellow is just such good manners that they'll actually run 2 more horses and open the gate for us. We can then hold it open with our hero unit before running all 17 of our berserks out, having completely sacked the city, saved that blacksmith, without destroying a single city wall. Brilliant. We can then kill what I would assume to be a military outskirts camp just outside of Cordoba, destroy stable, destroy barracks, back into production, same schedule, before finally beginning to move on Cordoba itself in order to end the scenario once and for all without any losses. As usual, we'll just continue to slowly chip away, do damage where we can, heal when we need to, run back to our longboats whenever things look a bit too tough. The enemy monks were actually quite a pain in this scenario. You just saw the yellow one there, as they're able to convert our longboats from pretty far, or obviously our berserks, as fully upgraded Saracen monks are no joke. However, once they face a hero adamant enough in his religion, the old men stand no chance. Witzer cuts this monk down before we make our final charge, or I guess, our final cartwheel as our rams roll into the city. We'll destroy that monastery in order to prevent any more monks coming out before the gates and then the wonder itself. This will obviously place us as a victor, and I'd just like to say once again a thank you to the creator of this DLC, as it's amazing. I recommend it to everybody. I've had so much fun with the scenarios that I have played so far, as I've played a couple more at the time of recording this, which I'll be trying to post as quick as I can edit them and everything. And I also wanted to thank you guys just for watching and supporting the channel. We'll then destroy the wonder, and then it's a very cool feature of this scenario. It enables free play. So as an Immortal, I don't want to do that, but when I'm just doing a regular, it's awesome, because I think we've all had a lot of fun in a scenario, but then it just ends up that scenario ends, or you complete your objectives and the scenario ends before you want to, which sucks. That's nice that this gives the option. We then finish the scenario. First, have a little story here. Now, while the rich part seems accurate and all, I don't know about all those guys we lost going to Valhalla. They must have died of natural causes or something, because we lost 0 units in battle, as the statistics page says here. We again have a funny number with 420 as our units killed, and 1 building lost, surprisingly, but that shows that the AI doesn't really like attack you. I believe that was a palisade wall against Francia. But again, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys all have a great time, and I'm excited for posting the next saga of our Viking adventures, which is obviously before this actually, as Ragnar Lothbrok.
Ushashmita.
Ushashmita.
Ushashmita.